Welcome to Art and Shit with Sean, and today's episode is about tattoos, and we're going to drive out to Healdsburg, California to visit my good friend and tattooing legend, Bad Billie Grider at Skin Gallery Tattoo Studio. Skin Gallery is a 3-artist studio, all lady folks, and here's Bad Billie herself and Isabella working today. Now, the art of tattooing has been around for thousands of years. Motherfuckers have been marking and decorating their asses since before recorded history for all kinds of reasons. Like Otzi the Iceman, this motherfucker right here, discovered on the border of Austria and Italy, was covered in tattoos from around 3100 BC. It's just what we fucking do. But anyway, first things first, let's go look at some of Bad Billie's weird shit she keeps in her drawing room. This fucking thing here is my favorite. It's a jar of gallbladder stones from an insane asylum. There's Billie in a little tattoo. If you don't know who Tattoo from Fantasy Island is, then I'm fucking old, I guess. Complain. Anyway, Billie's fucking weird, wonderfully so. That's why we're friends. Alright, I promise this is leading up to an actual tattoo, but first, can we talk about this 3-breasted woman? Anyway, speaking of women and threes, let me introduce these 3 artists. Bad Billie Grider's been a tattoo artist for 30 fucking years. She was friends with Lyle Tuttle, and if you're a tattoo enthusiast and you don't know who Lyle Tuttle is, then what the fuck? Anyway, Google his ass. Here's a pic of Billie and old Lyle. Alright, here's some of Billie's work over the years, and this last one just happens to be on my ass. Not my actual ass. Don't be a dumbass. That's a lot of ass. Bad Billie was also good friends with the famous circus sword swallower Captain Don Leslie. She's got some fucking stories, I'll tell you what, for realsies. Here's a piece Billie's doing for Isabella, and here's some of Isabella's work. And, you know, Isabella might just be one of the genuinely nicest fucking people I know. And the 3rd artist in the shop is Kayla, and it's her day off, so this is all you get. Alright, let's get to fucking tattooing, shall we? Now, tattoos mean different shit to different people. What was once an ancient activity, which eventually became the sole purview of convicts and sailors, is now a huge art form. And I wonder if it's more unusual to not have a fucking tattoo these days. But as to meaning, I can't speak for others, only myself. And I didn't ask Billie or Isabella what tattoos mean to them, because it's none of my fucking business. And come to think of it, I've never had a tattoo artist ask me, "What's this mean?" Tattoos are a personal thing, because, you know, they're on your fucking person and shit. But I'll tell you the meaning of this one. My daughter is 16 and I call her Bird. And recently she said, "Hey Dad, you should get a bird tattoo. But get it on your middle finger so you can literally flip people with a bird." That's my girl. So I said, okay, pick one out, and she did, and here we are. There's a lamp I made Billie years ago in trade for an octopus tattoo. Now, for myself, most of the work I get done is some kind of meaning, or at least it starts out that way. Maybe after your first one, you feel like you've got this fucking secret. It's a little thrill, and when it wears off, tattoos don't wear off, We want to feel it again, and just maybe our wrinkly pink meat computers get a little addicted to that feeling. But the whys of getting tattoos changes and matures as do we, hopefully. For me, they become something of a visual diary of who I was and what I was up to at a certain point in my life. Not one to ruminate about past shit, and in fact, my memory almost seems to have atrophied because I can't remember shit, but I'm strangely okay with it because it keeps me more in the now than in the then. But when I look at a tattoo, even a shitty meaningless one like this, I remember that young Coast Guard sailor who was briefly in Yorktown, Virginia, getting a shitty tattoo for some biker dude, and it makes me think about not so much the tattoo or my attributes and beliefs at the time, but the fucking amazing realization that even though I was a totally different motherfucker back then, that sense of me, that feeling of I-ness behind thought, never changes. That's fucking clue, boo. But anywho, tattoos can mean anything you fucking want. Tattoos can mean nothing and just be a front. They can be a statement of individuality or defiance, or breaking away from fucking reliance. They can be a protection for your mind, or metaphysical danger of any kind. If skin is consciousness, a tattoo is a thought. It can be whatever you want, so long as it's bought. Thoughts can get weird, so can tattoos. Your skin is a mouth, and the ink is its booze. You must endure pain and put in the time. How the fuck did this soliloquy turn into a rhyme? Anywho, so yeah, tattoos fucking hurt, but it can be an exercise into the nature of suffering. You can play with it, resist it mentally, and the pain becomes exponential. But surrender to it and it gets way easier to handle. It's a testament to the nature of suffering, which is simply an aversion to what is. Less aversion, less suffering. The flip side is that our brain is constantly trying to achieve homeostasis, and so pain and pleasure is like a fucking scale. If you push down on the pain side, the brain will push on the pleasure side. And when the pain stops, the brain pressure on the pleasure side gives you a surge of like, oh yeah. It's the same in reverse, though. It's what happens with withdrawals of any kind. If we artificially push on the pleasure side too long, the brain starts stacking shit on the pain side. And when someone stops the artificial pleasure, they're fucked for a while. Tattoos can be reminders. Like, I got this big-ass hand tattoo, the outer meaning of which is the least part of the thing. I got it as like a mindfulness bell. A mindfulness bell is rung to remind the adept, hey, dumbass, quit thinking thoughts and shit, and slide your ass into the spaciousness of mind behind thought. Zen monks used to just get a smack upside the head with a stick, but anyway, mine is a hand tattoo, because you see your hands more than any other part of yourself, unless you're a teenage male staring at your junk all day and drawing pictures of dicks everywhere. I mean, so I've heard. I was never like that, nasty little fuckers. Tattoos can also be a sounding board. Like, if you feel uncomfortable in a place or around some particular motherfuckers because you have exposed tattoos and shit, you might initially ascertain that, oh, I'm in the wrong fucking place with the wrong fucking people. These aren't my fucking people, and maybe so, but if we're honest with ourselves, it's about our own fucking insecurity and level of give-a-fuckness. It's being lit up. If you're self-conscious around certain people, then it's because you give a shit what they think. But if motherfuckers judge you on anything other than the quality of your character and your actions, then fuck them. You see, tattoos can be a way to dissolve fucks. I cannot claim to have zero fucks, but I've been working on it a long time, chewing away at the psychological scars and gristle of my youth, and how many fucks I give has decreased exponentially, but there's always another layer of the onion, so don't quit looking and use everything at your disposal as a tool to know thy fucking self. Tattoos no doubt mean many more things to folks and many less to others, but ultimately it's an expression. There's some fucking unifying thing going on in and behind reality. You can get all religious or spiritual or quantum about that shit, but this singularity, this vast wakeful fucking emptiness behind it all really wants to get weird and has broken itself, it seems, into a myriad of forgetful parts. That's us. And installed in our hardwiring is a desire for individuality, and that's what it comes down to. Tattoos are one way people do and have always done that. So if you didn't understand what tattoos meant before, maybe you still fucking don't. But for my tattooed brethren, you may know more than most that it's okay to be you in whatever fucking way you want to do it. And no matter how a person looks and whether they feel like they weigh too much or too little or are too ugly or too beautiful, every motherfucker is a perfect iteration of a wakeful emptiness that wants to know itself through forms. So own your shit, my friends. Get weird and be you, and learn to do it lovingly whilst giving less fucks about what dumbasses may or may not think. Alright, let's wrap this shit up. Here's poor Isabella feeling super awkward being filmed because I'm like, turn your head this way, look up there. Billie, though, doesn't give a fuck. She's all, look at my shit. Anyway, thanks to Bad Billie and Isabella for hosting my diatribe against dumbassery and for being amazing artists that help people to feel like it's okay to be themselves in whatever fucking way they want, and doing it in such an artistic fucking way. Toodaloo.